Alright, so I'm going to try and do this all in one take if I can. I've never done a gameplay commentary before, but I'm just going to do it and sort of talk about how my team works. So I am running Shadow Hippowdon, well I should say Dunsparce lead, Shadow Hippowdon and Shadow Kanto Marowak in the back. Basically a triple rock and ground coverage team for the Open Great League. I'm just going to show a couple of battles and then talk about how I play certain matchups. I've actually got a pretty good set of battles here because I found three leads that were in common where I won and lost one battle for each lead. So I'll talk about what went wrong in those games that I lost and what I did right in the games that I won, and just sort of explain how the team works as best as I can, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, the first game here is against a Annihilate, right? So Annihilate was actually a lead that I only saw once, but you can play it out. I just switch into Marowak every single time. Uh, what I do is I always shield the first Rage Fist. I know it's a Rage Fist, but I don't want to take that damage so that I can get off my own moves against the Annihilate, because Marowak is the only Pokemon with fast move pressure, right? But they sent out a Dugong. Even though they caught the Bone Club, I am still going to outpace them to a Rock Slide, and I throw on CMP. That's a pretty big mistake by the opponent because now they wasted their energy. I'm going to bring in Dunsparce, and I'm just going to farm up energy. I want to farm up this energy because when the Annihilate comes back in, it's already at half health, right? So a single Drill Run plus a couple of Sand attacks from Hippowdon is going to put it in range where I can just KO it, and they're not going to reach another move, right? So you can see I'm just going to farm up here. When I get to full energy, I'm going to throw this Rock Slide. I'm going to try to undercharge it because I don't really mind taking another Icy Wind, but I do knock them out, so that's fine. I'm going to immediately pivot into Hippowdon. Again, I'm getting that fast move damage. I know that now a Drill Run will take them out, but I'm also going to throw this Weather Ball just again to get them really low, and they're going to be either forced to use their last shield or their Annihilate's going to be basically out of the fight. So they decided to shield. Hippowdon paces really fast to the Weather Ball. It's only 9 turns, right? So you're going to get there faster than just about everything in the meta. Um, and you see they have Bastion in the back. If you see an Annihilate and a Dugong, 99% of the time it's going to be a Bastion in the back. So this Bastion has basically nowhere to go against my team. I'm going to finish it off with a Rock Slide for BM because who likes Bastion? Not me. And that's going to be a win, even against a bad lead, right? Because the Bastion had nowhere to go. So next game, Regional Champion. Fun times. This is a loss. I'm going to spoil it ahead of time. Whenever I see an Azumarill lead, I always try and throw on CMP because I want to be able to switch in my Marowak, which sounds insane, right? But I'm always looking for an opportunity to switch in my Marowak. So I want them to throw energy at the same time as me so that I can get that 0-turn switch. But if they don't, it's whatever. I'm just going to switch in Marowak anyway. And I'm going to be counting to see how many bubbles they've thrown, so I know when their next Ice Beam is coming up. So they're actually 4 bubbles away from the next Ice Beam. I gotta keep that in mind for later. Yep. So now they send in their Corsola, which I would really like to have against my Dunsparce, but it is what it is. It's not going to happen. So I'm going to try, if I can, to just throw it awkward timing, see if I can catch them out, not throwing or, trying to CMP tie. So they throw, that's great, the energy's gone. I'm going to bring in, I believe it's the Dunsparce. Yep, I'm going to bring in the Dunsparce. I'm going to farm up a little bit. I should have thrown one more, but in the grand scheme of things, you're going to see it's not really going to matter because I can't really knock out this Azumarill anyway. And yeah, so I'm going to throw this Drill one. It's going to get him kind of low, but then they're going to send out Drapion, and with that shield advantage, I'm just not going to be able to win this one. Drapion up a shield is always going to win this, and that's about it. So there are times where I will actually get an Azumarill low, and I will bring in Hippowdon to farm it down. And there's a lot of situations, especially if you're not battling against like top batters. Like, I mean, this guy's a regional champion, right? So he knows what he's doing. But if you battle against people who maybe aren't as strong, they sometimes will just let you farm their Azumarill down with Hippowdon. You can get almost up to a Scorching Sands before they reach an Ice Beam if they're energy dry. So yeah, you can see they've reached an Ice Beam. They're going to throw it. I'm going to lose this one. Not really too much I could have done. I don't think it's maybe trying to CMP tie them to a Nightshade on their Corsola, maybe. But yeah, they actually saved their Azu and kept it on pretty healthy, so I wasn't able to take it out. So, second Azu lead. This Azu lead is going to go differently, right? So you can see I'm going to try the same strategy. I'm going to try and throw when they get to like 6 or 7 drill run, 6 or 7 fast moves. Throw my drill run, so maybe hoping they throw an Ice Beam or a Play Rough, but it doesn't happen. So again, I'm going to wait for them to throw. Then I'm going to bring in my Marowak. The reason I bring in my Marowak is just because I want to check to see if they have any sort of other counter to ground types in the back. 95% of the time this is what happens. They just stay in with their Azumarill, and then I'm going to try to throw a Bone Club, and then I'm going to CMP tie them right here. So this forces them to make the decision. Do they want to shield, right, and get off this next Ice Beam? And the answer is yes, they do. So they are going to throw the Ice Beam. I'm going to shield because I'm actually recognizing here that I can just farm them all the way down, right? Come out with a ton of energy. I can threaten pretty much anything in the meta, right? And you're going to see there's a Diggersby. So I'm going to throw this Bone Club. Then I'm going to throw one Mud Slap, another Bone Club, and then I'm going to throw another Mud Slap and another Bone Club because that's only going to leave them at 5 quick attacks, so they can't reach a Fire Punch before I get to this third Bone Club. So this is going to put them super low. I'm going to bring in Dunsparce to absorb the damage next, right? Because obviously you don't want to take any charge moves on your Hippowdon. And then I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, I'm going to bring in Hippowdon as soon as they throw this Scorching Sands. Yep, so I'm going to bring in that Hippowdon. They Panic Swap to Clodsire. They probably could have reached another Fire Punch, but it would have been very close. Sorry, excuse me, another Scorching Sands. But anyway, they bring in their Clodsire. They try to call a bait. That's not going to work because there's no reason for me to bait in this matchup. I can always reach 2 moves. I'm going to throw this Weather Ball before they get to a Sludge Bomb, just forcing them to either use the shield or let it go. And if they let it go, I'm going to farm them down, right? So there they go. They're going to throw a Sludge Bomb. They use their shield. But now my win condition is pretty simple. I'm just going to build up to 2 moves. They catch on the Diggersby, but I don't care because I have 2 moves loaded. There's no way they were going to get to another Sludge Bomb there, so they were, game was just pretty much over from there. So, yeah, with the Azu lead, they didn't really have a response to my ground types in the back. But yeah, I always send out that Marowak because it's really easy to build up energy and just force your opponent to either shield or make some sort of decision, right? Okay, so Dragonite's in. This is a game where I definitely make a misplay. I'm not sure how we CMP tied here on 4 rollouts, and I don't know how many crunches they would have. Must have been 5. Maybe they lagged by a turn or something like that. So I'm going to throw this drill run. I get the shield, right? I'm in a great position here because they even try to CMP tie me, right? This is perfect. I'm going to get, I get that free Mud Slap in. I'm going to farm them all the way down, right? And then I'm going to, or this might, this might have actually been the battle that I won. Now I'm looking at it. They're going to bring in, that's right. So they bring in this Corsola. I'm going to throw Bone Clubs, and I'm keeping track of their energy here, right? So I know that they've got 3. Notifications keep popping up, sorry about that, right? So I wait a turn, see if they throw their Nightshade. They don't, so I'm going to throw this Bone Club. Now, big mistake here, right? I am going to send in my Dunsparce, but what's going to happen is they are just going to shield and farm me all the way down. If I had thrown a Rock Slide with my Marowak first, and then sent in my Dunsparce, we would have been golden, right? But because they're able to farm me down, right, I get to this Rock Slide, and I'm like, I don't know how much, not quite sure how much energy they have. I kind of have to shield to get off this Rock Slide if I want any shot of winning, and unfortunately they have another Dragon Claw loaded, so they're going to throw it, they're going to take me out, and I don't have the fast move pressure to farm them down, and you're going to see that they get to another Dragon Claw, and it's pretty much over from there. So yeah, big mistake there, not throwing a Rock Slide with my Marowak. That's the entire reason that I lost that game. I'm actually going to be able to take out this Corsola, but because they were able to farm down my Dunsparce, I just wasn't able to reach that second move that I needed. And yeah, so well played by the opponent though, recognizing their win condition, swapping in that Dragonite. So next one, Dragonite lead, they swap in a Kanto Marowak. So the way I play a Kanto Marowak safe swap is I always throw a drill one, and I send in my own Marowak, and I'm going to farm all the way down. So I'm going to take one, I'm going to shield one, and then I'm going to farm all the way down and come out with energy to throw against the Dragonite. So you'll see they throw one, I let it go. They throw a second one. I am also, or sorry, I'm going to shield this one, and then I'm just going to farm all the way down. And I'm now one off of back-to-back moves. So I'm going to throw one Mud Slap, and I'm going to throw a Bone Club Baits, right? And now they catch it, but I'm perfectly fine with this because they catch it on a Gastrodon. So I'm just going to throw another Bone Club here, and then I'm going to immediately swap into my Hippowdon. The reason is because I can get their Gastrodon low enough that I can take them out with just a Weather Ball, right? So I throw before they get to their big move, either Earth Power or Water Pulse, right? They're on 6 right now, so that Weather Ball pacing is super fast, really helpful. I believe I just let this go because I know if they take me out, I can farm down. If they bait, then they're going to waste all their energy and I can still farm down anyway. So I'm just going to farm them down now with 5 Rock Slides. They're going to forfeit because they know I'm going to get to 2 Rock Slides against their Dragonite. Talonflame lead. So you might think that Talonflame is an instant win, especially if they're staying in. But if you play poorly, then sometimes things can go badly for you. So especially if they have a superior in the back. So they're staying in. I'm like, great, I'm gonna get all this energy. I'm gonna get a big advantage. They send in a Zoomerel, and now I'm thinking, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do because I can throw these drill runs, right? And that's gonna get them about below half health. They throw, I think it's an Ice Beam here, if I'm not mistaken. No, sorry, it's a Play Rough. Then I swap in my Marowak. I should have thrown another Drill Run, then brought in my Marowak to farm all the way down, right? I know I can take an Ice Beam, so I'm just going to take that on the chin, and then I'm going to throw a Bone Club here, but they're going to get a farm down, and now I am not going to be able to... well, I'm going to try and farm down my Hippowdon, so that's what I was talking about earlier. Sometimes I will bring in Hippowdon to farm down, which I'm going to do in this case. So they throw the Ice Beam. Okay, I farm down. I have a Weather Ball Rock loaded, and I am going to throw that at the Talonflame, and you're going to see that they are going to let it go. And then they come in with a Toxapex. But because I am chipped already, one Brine is going to take me out. So my only option here is to try and CMP Sack Swap, which I do, and I try to get it off, but for some reason the game just decides it's going to throw a rollout instead, and so I can't get that extra damage that I need, and you're going to see I'm going to miss out on this KO by just, maybe 2 turns, maybe even 1 turn of Sand Attack damage. Probably 2 turns, actually. But yeah, I think I probably should have won that game, but somehow the game decided to throw a rollout instead of using my charge move. So yeah, probably could have won that one. Another Talonflame lead, they send in B-Barrel, right? And this is a water type, and I know that up energy, my ground types actually have that rock coverage, so they're going to be able to take out that Talonflame. So I'm just going to stay in here. I'm going to let them throw back-to-back surfs, and I'm going to come in and farm down with my Marowak, right? So they throw the surf. They're going to throw another surf. And let's see what happens here. Yeah, so I'm going to actually save that energy, and I'm going to farm down, like I said, with Marowak, right? So now I've got 3 Mud Slaps advantage. I have a move on my Dunsparce. So I'm going to throw 3 Mud Slaps, throw the Rock Slide. This is going to either force a shield or KO them. They're going to decide to shield. They're going to throw a move. If it's a Flame Charge, I have to be careful. Oh, and I do remember this. So now I'm going to throw 3 Mud Slaps and a Rock Slide. And what I should do here is I should just switch in to my Dunsparce, throw a move, and then, yeah. So I should have just switched into Dunsparce, thrown a move, and then thrown the Rock Slide, but for some reason I threw a Mud Slap first, because I forgot how low my Dunsparce was. I thought I was going to survive that Incinerate. So now we're kind of in a bad spot where I'm forced to throw this Weather Ball and just hope that I can beat whatever's in the back. And you're going to see that it is a Gastrodon, right? So Gastrodon in the 1-0, if I had my extra shield still, this would be a very easy to match up to win. I would win it all day, every day. So I decided to swap in, okay? You know, I try to reach that bone club, they take me out, but I'm just barely going to be able to reach a weather ball. You'll see in a second here. This body slam does not take me out, okay? And I just barely reached the weather ball to win this battle. So the last battle I should have won, but the game, gave me a rollout instead of throwing my move. And then this game I probably should have lost because I played very poorly, but I managed to win in the end. Okay, next battle. So this is a Diggersby lead. Whenever I have a Diggersby lead, I always come straight into Marowak and throw the Bone Club, because I'm going to reach this Bone Club before they reach a Scorching Sands. So you can see I reached the Bone Club, goes through. I don't think I've ever had anyone shield it. I'm going to shield the Scorching Sands. If I ever shield, or sorry, if they ever stay in with their Diggersby, I usually shield the Scorching Sands. But I think I might stop doing that just because Azumarill usually follows it up. And now I'm in a pretty bad position where, I reach one Bone Club against them, but I can't reach the second one. They're going to immediately throw this Ice Beam. So now I'm going to come in, try to get them low with my Dunsparce, and then again look for an opportunity to come in and farm down with my Hippowdon. So they're going to throw a move here. Let's see what it is. I believe it's a Play Rough. It is. And then I am going to build up some energy. They switch into Diggersby, and my mistake here was I should have thrown a Drill Run and then tried to farm down. Because now you're going to see they're going to throw the Scorching Sands, and if I had thrown a Drill Run, I probably would have been able to farm all the way down and maybe take out whatever they have in the back. So here, they get off of Scorching Sands. I CMP tied them. I tried to bait with the Weather Ball because I'm already so far behind. Like, I need some sort of advantage. I'm going to throw another Weather Ball here, and they are going to let it go. So there it goes. Now they have 2 shields. I have 0 shields. We're in a pretty bad spot. I'm going to throw this Scorching Sands. They're going to let that go as well. And you see that they have a Typhlosion in the back. So this Typhlosion had nowhere to go. I have so much energy on this Dunsparce. This Typhlosion had nowhere to go against my team, but because I misplayed it, I did not get the win. I either shouldn't have shielded that first Scorching Sands from the Diggersby, or I should have thrown that Drill Run later. So there was a chance to win this game. Not every game is winnable, but there was a chance to win it. All right, this battle. I started recording halfway through because I kind of forgot to record the beginning, but they had a Bastiodon lead, and then they swapped in this Wigglytuff, so I threw a Drill Run. They shielded it, and then I brought in my Marowak. So now you can see my Marowak's got a pretty good pretty good matchup here. I was able to take their last shield. They send in an Annihilate, and it's just game over at this point. I'm going to throw this Bone Club, get a little bit of chip damage. I'm going to bring in my Hippowdon, and then I am going to just, let them throw. Then I'm going to throw 1 and the Weather Ball, take out their Annihilate. They throw a close combat, it's fine. They swap in. I'm actually going to use the Scorching Sands, and I was really surprised when I threw this move. I built up to 2, and I assumed, so you'll see, I assumed that this was going to take out the Bastiodon, so then I immediately threw my second one. It did not, so now I just wasted all this energy, but like I said, you pace much faster than anything in this meta, or just about anything in this meta, to these Weather Balls. So Weather Ball is going to take out the Annihilate, and we're good to go. Even if it didn't, I still had that Dunsparce in the back, so I'm pretty sure I would have been fine. Alright, Goodra lead. Goodra leads, I have noticed, I don't see them very often, but they have Azumarill in the back a lot, and the way I try to play this is I can't really swap out because both of my Pokemon are weak to water, and so I am just essentially going to take this Thunder Punch. I'm going to swap, hope that I caught a second one. If I don't catch a Thunder Punch here, then I pretty much just instantly lose, and I didn't. I caught an Aqua Tail. Now they're going to swap in Drifblim, so that is another counter to my ground types. So I'm going to throw this Rock Slide. They're going to actually let it go, and yeah, that's not good for me. If I had gotten a shield, maybe I had a chance. Like maybe there was like some small universe where maybe I won this one. But I'm just going to let this go, and I'm going to put everything on the back of Hippowdon here, right? So there it goes, farms down, Can we win? No, they have an Azumarill on the back, and if I am down, or if it's even shields, Paladin's never going to win that one, so yeah. Um, Whenever I record, I find that I actually play a lot worse. I actually went, this was 10 battles, I went 5 and 5, but I immediately got 2 4-1 sets after this, using the same team. There were definitely some games in there that I misplayed that, even though I had some bad matchups, like Azumarill, you would think is like really bad for this team, but Marowak actually puts in a ton of work against it, and I find myself switching my Marowak into Azumarill a lot more often than you'd probably think, right? Swapping a ground type into a water type. Um, so yeah, I might record some more battles with this. Again, sorry if my thoughts were kind of incoherent or things I was doing like didn't make sense on the screen. This is my first time doing this, so I'll probably try and record some more battles and maybe do some more commentary over them. But yeah, my game kind of suffers too. Like there's a little stuttering and whatnot when I record. So we'll see what happens in the future. Thanks for watching if you watched all the way through, and yeah, I'll try and do some more later.